Now we're going to talk about midpoints and lines, and I'm going to ask that you have your assignment in front of you while we're working this. I think it'll just be easier for you to follow along on your paper than for me to try and do some kludgy representation of it on my tablet. So let's take a look at question number 1 on midpoints and lines. It asks us to determine if the following pairs of lines are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. Then it tells us to verify our decision using slope. So basically what we're trying to do is find the slope of each line and compare those slopes, see what their relationship is. So we have these two lines looking something like this on your coordinate grid. So we're going to find 2 points on the first line that we could identify. Whenever we're looking for points on a coordinate grid, if your grid is something like this, we're going to want to find places where the line passes through the corner of a grid as opposed to kind of floating out here somewhere in the middle, because it'll be easier to write the coordinates if you're at the corner of a grid than if you're just having to guess, is that halfway through the square? Is it a fourth of the way down? Exactly what's happening there. Okay, so we're going to look for information that's at the corner of a grid. So in this top or left line, I can see that the y-intercept is at 1, 2, 3, 4. So I know right here when x is 0, y is 4. So that's a good point. We'll use that one right there. Then if I follow down the line, I can see when x is a negative 2, y is also a negative 2. So we'll use that point. When x is a negative 2, y is a negative 2. Let's do the same thing with the other line. Find 2 points here as well. So if I look for the y-intercept in this case, it's down here, and that's at negative 3. So when x is 0, y is a negative 3. And if I follow up that line, I can see it crosses the x-axis at 1. So when x is 1, y is 0. So here's 2 points on each of the lines, and I can use that to find the slope. So what I'd like to do is name the lines. We're going to call this first one line 1 and the second one line 2. So let's find the slope of line 1, or slope 1. Let's remember that to find slope, we have the change in y, so our y2 minus y1, over our change in x, which is x2 minus x1. It's been a while since we've done slope. So let's plug in our information. Now, since we're not told which is point 1 and which is point 2, we're just going to go as if we're reading, so from left to right. So notice I would hit the green point before I got to the tan point. So we'll let the green point be point 1 and the tan point be point 2. So our y2 value is 4 minus our x2 value, our y2 value is 4 and our y1 value is a negative 2 over our x2 value, which is 0, minus our x1 value, which is also a negative 2. Right here we have a negative times a negative, which is a positive, so